Alright, what is good YouTube? It's your boy Zach Zeiler, and effectively I want to go through some things in this video and discuss a couple of different questions that you guys have asked and basically update you on things. Today is November 7th already, so it's been like 2 months and 7 days roughly that I've been on this new journey and taking this new path and everything. And I just wanted to give you an idea of how I'm feeling and how things have been going because, I haven't been getting in front of the camera too often to be talking to you guys or anything like that. So, in general, things have been very, very positive. I would say that everything has been very, very positive, and this experience in general so far has been very pleasurable. I've had no issues thus far. And a lot of people over the past several weeks have been asking a lot of different questions for specifics and things like this. But to keep things as generic as I feel it's necessary, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about, my side effects so far. I did so much research leading up to making this decision in September that it was almost ridiculous how often I was on forums, I was on YouTube, on Google, how many people and relationships that I built just to, discuss the topic of this supplementation and this decision that I was planning to make. And I had a certain readiness going into this that most people do not have. And it was kind of like ridiculous, like I just said, how much research I actually did, just because I'm a little bit of a little girl when it comes to a lot of this, and I wanted to make sure that I did things properly and in the most responsible way possible, if that makes sense at all. So early on I made a lot of good decisions, which led to me not seeing a whole lot of negative side effects. And to go into some of the side effects that most people will typically see, starting with like acne, for example. Thank goodness that I was never predispositioned to have extremely bad acne ever in my life. I've always taken pretty good care of my skin, and I've never had too many issues. Like, I get the occasional spots and stuff like that. But since September, I have noticed that I break out a little bit more often, and I get spots or zits in places that I don't normally get them. But as long as I'm, cleaning myself and showering right after the gym and everything, I don't see any issues with any of that, which is like a plus because I have a lot of friends and I have a lot of acquaintances that I've talked to where they ran into a lot of issues with acne, and I think I've done the proper protocol to fight against that. So that's one thing that, I basically benefited from in terms of like the research that I've done and everything. So to talk about stuff like gyno, okay? If you guys know what gyno is, that puffiness in your nipples and stuff that comes around. I think I was like 13, 14, or 15 when I realized that I had some sensitivity in my nipples. And I remember back then being able to like pinch around my nips, and I felt these little balls, like Skittle-sized balls, maybe a little bit smaller, in my nipples and stuff. And I feel like that was just a result of puberty and everything. It eventually went away. But I'd say a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks into my second month of this, I started to get that small irritation in my nips, that small irritability in my nipples. And, I wanted to take care of it right away. I didn't want to let it, prolong. I didn't want to just sit around and allow it to get worse or anything like that. So I took the necessary steps to, fight against that. And now almost 3 full months in, like 2.5 months in, I should say. I've taken care of that, and I have no issues with the onset or beginnings of gyno. So that's one thing that's taken care of right then and there. Another question people ask me is whether or not my temperament has changed. And I feel like this is relatively paralleled with what supplements you're taking and, the actual amounts that you're taking. And to be real with you guys, I'm on such a low amount that it's really not even worth discussing. Like, in person, I've talked to some people, I've told them my protocol and what I do, what I take, and everything. And right now I'm taking one thing, and it's a very low amount. It's a very minuscule amount that I'm taking. And there's a reason for that. This is my first time getting my feet wet, going down this path and stuff. And I feel it's important to find out how your body reacts to some of these substances and stuff. And it would be so irresponsible of me to, take extreme dosages or extreme amounts, or put myself at risk and put my health at risk by just throwing in numerous compounds and everything that you just don't need your first time around. So let me just clear the air with all of that, because I see a lot of speculation in my videos and my social media about what people think that I do. And I've had people come up to me in the gym asking where I get this or get that, and they are very surprised to find out that I'm not taking any of those compounds that they would assume I'm taking. But in terms of like my temperament, I have noticed some small adjustments in things that like bother me or irritate me and stuff, but I've never been like a really angry person. It takes so much to make me angry, or upset me or get under my skin, that, going into this, I had heard from people that taking these supplements will really make you more of who you typically are as a person. If you're an angry person to begin with, they're going to make you more of an angry person. If you're passionate about certain things, it's going to make you more passionate about certain things. So one thing that I have noticed is that when I'm hungry, I get very short with people. I get very irritable. And I've always been that way. It's just now, these past several weeks, it's like it has expanded so greatly. I'm definitely noticing that my temperament has changed when I'm hungry like that. So I need to be very responsible about getting meals in every 2 hours at least, because any more than that, and I start feeling like a Holocaust victim, and I feel like I'm starving, and I don't know what it does to my brain, but I just really, get really short with people, and I get irritated by little things. But other than that, I've had no issues. Like, if you were to ask my wife, she would say there's been no changes at home in terms of my aggression or anything, because I've never been aggressive to begin with, thank goodness. Oh, Bella wants to say hi. Trying to think. I don't know. You guys are going to have to ask questions in the comments, because those are the only real things that I can think of right now. I got on the scale. I don't even know if I already talked about this. Shoot. I got on the scale after the gym today, and I weighed 202.4 pounds. I think it was 202 pounds. But that was with my pants on, and that was with my shoes on. So my actual body weight right now is right around 200 pounds, maybe slightly under. And just to see those type of numbers on a scale, it is so phenomenal. It's so crazy to me, because I never in a million years thought that my build or my structure could ever get above 200 pounds. So when I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing that all of this work that I'm putting into my training, into my eating, forcing myself to get food down on a day-to-day basis, it's just very rewarding for me as a person, and it makes me that much more excited about the future, because this is obviously the first step. I have so much more time ahead of me, and I talk about the aspect of patience and everything, and people will come on my channel and say that I'm a failure, by making this decision and going down this road, because it's a sign of weakness to some people. But for me, I understand that making this decision was necessary for me to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. It would not be possible for me to reach 220 plus pounds shredded to the bone with, full muscle bellies and a godlike physique, which I'm not there yet or anything, but it won't be possible for me to do that without, of course, this extra help from these supplements, if you will. So that's one thing that I've definitely, come to the realization of. And, my mindset has really kind of been shifting on a day-to-day basis in terms of like people and the feedback that they give, because there's so much negativity out there, and I just try my best to, let it go in one ear and out the other. I use some of it as a means of motivation, which is very beneficial and good to do. If you have people that are trying to get under your skin, use it to your advantage, and go into your training sessions with a chip on your shoulder. That's what I tell people. But other than that, I'm growing weekly, and I mean that I am growing weekly. I'm noticing my clothes fitting completely different. I'm in extra larges in all of my clothes. My sleeves are getting tighter. My joggers, like the calves in my joggers, are getting tighter. So, adding an additional, whatever it's been, because when I started I was like 183 to 185 pounds. That's right around where I was every single day. To now like a leaner 200 pounds. Things are definitely changing. And I told myself, before I started, that I was going to stay covered up throughout this process. Just so that I could see all the changes come as I undress after several weeks. But it's just too hard to do that, for me anyways, to keep everything covered up and not go in the gym and wear a stringer to where you can see the muscles working, to see your chest pump and see your biceps and your triceps work. That's motivating for a person like me, to be able to see visually the muscles working, as well as like the progression as well. Like if you're in the gym wearing a tank top, I don't think it makes you arrogant. You're simply, trying to see where you're at, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm seeing changes on a weekly basis. I know that the visual changes would be a lot different if I did stay covered up. But I feel like posing every single day is very important, and I'm not going to just sit in front of a mirror and pose in sweats or anything like that. I like to be able to engage with the muscle groups that I'm working that day. Like if I have a leg day, for example, to go through a full body posing routine in front of the mirror, hit a front double bicep and contract my outer quads, get my glutes squeezed, have my hamstrings really tight. To be able to do that and make that connection in the mirror, it's only going to benefit you when you go into like a set of squats or whatever, and you're able to focus in on the different muscle groups of the lower body and stuff. But that's another thing that I've been doing, and that's why the changes for me, like, they're still human, I guess. I understood that I wasn't going to become like superhuman right off the bat or anything, but I'm very pleased with the results that I'm getting right now. And I think that I'm very smart about it in my decision making and everything, to where if I continue this, which is still my plan right now, is to continue doing this over the course of the next handful of years, to see where I can get physically as well as mentally. So I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon. My numbers, my pure strength in the gym, my endurance and stuff is inhuman. To me anyways. I've gotten acquainted to this feeling and to getting a new kind of pump than what I've ever been used to. I'm used to it now, and I'm really enjoying my workouts more than I ever have, just because like I just talked about, the rewards that I'm getting as a result they're so outstanding. And after waiting so many years patiently and finally going down this route, it's just awesome. It's so exciting. I feel like I'm so alive, and I feel like I am really headed in the direction I want to be headed in right now. I'm eating like a crazy person, and I'm still eating a lot of junk. That's why you guys don't see a whole lot of like full day of eating videos. In fact, I like never post those ever. But if you guys want to see what I'm eating, I always post stuff up on my Instagram stories. I've been using Snapchat a little bit less lately, so Instagram is really my go-to for posting my meals and everything like that on my stories. So if you guys are interested in that, go and check it out. Another thing I wanted to address in my last video, not that it's like really bothering me or anything, but I did like read some comments when I logged into my YouTube and, you know, got onto that video about my midsection looking bigger. And after going through the footage and watching some of the posing that I threw into the video at the end, I did see what other people were seeing, but I made a mistake in the editing of this video, or in the filming of this video, I should say, as I always love to point my camera into a mirror. For a couple of different reasons. Not only can I look at myself in the mirror as I go through my poses, but I can also visually see on the screen of my camera myself going through poses and stuff. But in that video, my camera was pointed at the mirror, and of course not all mirrors are like true reflections of your reality. Many of those mirrors are like funhouse mirrors, and they're stretched images and stuff. And in that video, you know, I came to find out that I had my camera pointed at the mirror in a way where the entire image was stretched. My biceps were like stretched out to where my arms looked really long and awkward. My midsection looked really blocky. My clavicles were stretched out, and it almost looked like I had broad shoulders for a moment in time. But that was a mistake on my part, uploading that, and all those comments and stuff about my midsection got me really insecure. Not really, but I just wanted to, you know, throw that information out there for you guys, because my midsection has not grown at all. I could probably go and measure it, but because I have my measurements and everything from when I first started, I'm not that, you know, accustomed to caring about stuff like that. It's just something I wanted to address here. However, I would love it if you guys would go in the comments of this video. It's already been a very long one. Who knows how many of you even listen to all of this. But ask some questions, because I'm genuinely wanting to go through and answer some. You know, I could go through my Instagram DMs and stuff and individually like answer each person that has a question, but that gets so repetitive and everything, and I feel like if I can knock some of those questions out on this, it would just save so much time and effort on my part as well as your guys' part too. And once again, I feel like it's important for me to apologize, even though I really genuinely shouldn't apologize for this. But the people that are getting upset with me about not sharing my compounds, not sharing what supplements I'm taking and the exact things that I'm doing, I'm not here to promote this. Like, I say that, and here I am making a video about it. I'm trying to give you guys information that I feel is important. And if I were to like give you guys actual names of compounds and stuff, I would be promoting it to a demographic of people that would do exactly what it is I'm doing and follow exactly what I'm doing. And that's not what I'm here to do. You know, I want you guys to follow along my journey, to hopefully have some form of inspiration from it, to see where I started out years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, when I was a cancer patient, when I weighed 106 pounds, to listen to my story and listen to my ambitions and my dreams, and for me to share my goals with you guys and then share the journey with you as I try to reach those goals. That's really what my YouTube channel is about. I'm hoping to like leave some form of an impact on some of you guys out there, and I may be failing to do that if I'm not sharing specifics about my compounds and everything, but I don't think that's important. That's not what this is about. And it's funny because in the gym, since I've started this in September, I've had people that I've known in the gym or seen in the gym for like so many years now. But as soon as I made my announcement, like I'm going down this path and everything, all of a sudden these people come up to me and want to be my best friend, and they want to ask this, hey, where do you get your stuff? Would you recommend this? Would you recommend that? Give me your protocol. And it's just so funny to me because it's like these people honestly believe that that's all that is put into this, is what you're taking, when in reality they aren't in the gym 365 days out of the year, or in my case more than that because I throw in 2 days half the time. They're not putting as much effort into every single set, rep, and workout that I'm putting into my own journey and everything. And it will never be about what you're taking. And that's what I want you guys to realize, that you need to build a foundation first. You have to learn so much and do so much research yourself and not depend on outside things or tools to do it for you, because there are no shortcuts. I myself still understand that there are no shortcuts in this industry or to anything in life. If you want something bad enough, you have to be willing to put in the work and effort and sacrifice so much for whatever it is that you're passionate about. So I don't want you guys to get it twisted, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't want you to think that that's what this is all about, that this is all about like pharmaceuticals and, stuff like that, because it's not. That isn't the main aspect of all of this. It's about having a certain mindset about you and just believing in yourself every single day. So I hope that clears the questions out a little bit, about some of the questions you guys were asking. That's the end of the video. It's already 20 minutes long. Thank you guys very much for watching. I am Zach Zeiler. Until next time, ask your questions below. Peace out. Bye.